Hello everyone, my name's Kaz and today we are going to be talking about 2020 goals. Besides the Goodreads reading challenge, I haven't set myself some goals in a couple of years. And because this year I really want to get my life a little more organized, that setting myself some specific goals will help me stay on the right track. So we're going to be talking about them today. I have 5 reading goals and then 2 other goals, either having to do with my channel or with Readathon news stuff. Lies. I'm actually going to be talking about 5 goals, so stick around after I talk about the last general goal. So let's get started, why don't we? First and foremost, we have the Goodreads reading challenge. So this is the number of books I would like to read throughout the year. I always set myself a goal for this one, but it's never a really ambitious one. To be honest, it doesn't really stress me out too much. It's just something I like to put there just to kind of get a general idea of how I'm tracking against a general goal. And like, to be quite honest, if I were to end up doing a super ambitious goal and I wasn't likely to meet it, I would just lower the goal rather than get really stressed about it. For 2020, the number of books I'm aiming for is 50, which I think is a super reasonable amount for me. Since joining Goodreads, the lowest amount of books that I've read in a single year was 51. And actually looking back at previous years, 50 seems to be quite a frequent number that I tend to go for. I have a stretch goal of about 75. Last year I read 82, which I think is also fairly reasonable and achievable. The next goal I have set for myself is to finish 10 series. There are quite a few series that I have not finished and a fair few amount of last books in series that I haven't read yet. So I'm going to make an effort this year to finish 10 series. At this stage, I've only designated 5 series. The remaining 5 I'll decide at a later date. So the first series that I would like to finish is the Graceling trilogy by Kristen Cashore. So I've read Graceling and I have read Fire. Fire was one of my favorite books of 2018. I really loved it. It blew me away. I have heard mixed things about Bitter Blue, so we'll see how I feel about it. But I own Bitter Blue and I've owned it for a little while now, so I don't know why I haven't picked it up yet. Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Read and loved Six of Crows. Have not finished Crooked Kingdom. So I did start buddy reading it, but because of busy schedules and all that fun stuff, we unfortunately didn't get to finish it. So at some point in the next couple of months, I am going to be reading Crooked Kingdom, and I'm really excited about it. Like I said, loved Six of Crows. The Winternight trilogy by Catherine Arden. I have read The Bear and the Nightingale and The Girl in the Tower, and I got halfway through The Winter of the Witch. I just didn't finish it. And not because it was bad or anything like that. I was listening to the audiobook and I just was having trouble focusing on it, so what I listened to, I didn't retain like any of it. So I was like, okay, I'll put it down for now. I will go back to it and read it and enjoy it. But I haven't done it yet. We also have the Old Kingdom series by Garth Nix. I read and adored Sabriel, Lyriel, and Aborson. Aborson has been my favorite of the series so far, so I'm kind of annoyed that I haven't continued with the rest of the books yet. However, the series is kind of like a series of companions. Like we have Sabriel, then we have Lyriel, which follows 2 different characters. Aborson is more a direct sequel, and I think it's Clariel, which is a prequel to the first book. Then there's Golden Hand. So they kind of jump all over the timeline a little bit, and I'm like, am I going to love these characters as much as the other ones? Well, I'll read them and find out, won't I? Yes, I will. And the 5th series I've set myself to finish throughout the year so far is The Diviners by Libba Bray. So the 4th and I believe final book in this series is coming out in 2020. I think it's coming out early February. This is a series that I've been listening to on audio, and the narrator, January Lavoie, is amazing. I'm pretty sure I've already got this on my February TBR. Finishing a series in a timely manner? Who am I? Goal number 3 is to actually read the 20 books I listed in my 20 books to read in 2020 video. In terms of this one, like, this is something I definitely expect myself to do. It's not like a really difficult goal or anything like that, but I just think the issue I faced the last couple of times I set myself a list of books to read in a specific year is I kind of forgot about it. I just need to be a little bit more on top of it and actively thinking about this list of 20 books when I'm setting my monthly TBRs. One kind of subset of this goal that I'm trying to make myself do this year is that every time there is a readathon that I'm going to participate in, the first like pile of books I'm going to look to see if they fit with the challenges or the theme of the readathon is this list of 20 books. So hopefully that will kind of help make sure that I stay on track with it. If you saw my bullet journal video, you would have seen this, but I also have a spread in my bullet journal of the 20 books to read in 2020. This is now all filled out, and as I read each book, I'm going to colour in the book, and hopefully at the end of the year I have a fully coloured bookshelf. Having this at the front of my bullet journal will also hopefully help keep this at the forefront of my mind. I just don't want to forget about this list for most of the year and then remember really late in the game and then feel pressured to read these books, especially if it doesn't fit in with my schedule, because obviously I work for a publishing house, so I have to read books that we publish. I also host a book club. I'm also participating in a year-long read-along for the books in the Cosmere by Brandon Sanderson, so also those are going to be on my list. So it's like, I just need to not make myself more stressed and spread it out nicely. Number 4 is to read more widely. I will actually have a video, or rather a couple of videos about this very, very soon. I'm starting a new video series on my channel, so I'll have the introductory one talking about what the series is, what I'm hoping to achieve, and how it will help me read more widely. That's coming very, very soon, so look forward to that. And my last goal is to reread 10 favorites. Speaking of video series, I think it was back in 2018, I started a series on rereading my favorite books. And I've done 2 videos, which is a shame because this is something I'm super, super excited about, because there's a lot of books that I've read throughout the years and would like to dive back into. And my intentions with it is a mix of, does this hold up? And I miss the world, I miss the story, and I want to experience it again. So that's why I'm giving myself a goal to reread 10 favorites. I'm not going to talk about any specifics now because this will continue on in my video series, and I haven't decided which books yet, okay? I haven't decided. But for this series I have been choosing specific books, but I would also like to do a couple of videos with a few books. So I'm going to do a throwback to childhood favorites and then a throwback to some teenage favorites. Preferably early teenage, like before BookTube days if possible, and then a smattering of other individual favorites like The Hunger Games, because I'm very excited about the prequel. Love the series. I just want to experience it again. That is goal number 5 for reading. So the other 2 goals I've set for myself are kind of more general aims that I'm working to. So my first goal is to work towards posting 2 videos a week. As I'm sure a lot of you are aware, I have not been posting very consistently for a little while now, and it's something that I have been struggling with. Like, I do want to post a lot. I have a lot of ideas. I have filmed a lot of videos that I just haven't had time to edit and upload. I've just been really struggling with my time management and prioritizing filming, but specifically editing. So that's something that I do really need to work on, and I'm hoping in 2020 to get a bit of a better handle on it. And my last goal is to update the Readathon calendar more regularly and not burn out around October time like I usually do. So I keep a Readathon calendar on my website, half for my own use but also for you guys, so there is a resource where you can find a whole bunch of information about what readathons are coming up. And the issue I've been facing the past couple of years is that I think I've been prioritizing the Twitter account too much. So I need to kind of shift my priorities a little bit and first and foremost focus on the calendar and just work on getting that up to date, and reel back a little bit on the Twitter stuff. The thing that I really struggled with and found quite stressful was the monthly threads, because some readathons create their own graphics, their own tiles and images that have information about the readathon, like the reading challenges, any other general information if it's a little more in-depth. And when I'm putting these threads together, I think it's more appealing to scroll through to have images on every single post about each different readathon. So if a readathon didn't have a graphic, I would then create one myself, and that got very, very time consuming and it was quite stressful. So I'd often procrastinate, leave it to the last minute, freak out about it, and then just abandon it. And all this time could have just been spent focusing on keeping the calendar itself as up to date as possible. So I'm going to try and reel back from that and just do a monthly post linking to the calendar saying like, hey, updated next month's readathons, go check them out. So that's something that I'm going to try and work on. It's just mentally shifting gears a little bit and spread out my workload a little more. Hello, I actually have 3 more goals to talk about. I have been thinking about these ones for a while, but for whatever reason, forgot about them when I was originally filming this video. So moving on to number 3, I would like to pick up again with closed captioning my videos. There was a stage where I was a little more on top of this, and then things started to fall through the cracks, and I really do want to get back into closed captioning my videos again. All the videos I've posted in January so far, I've yet to do. That's kind of because most of these videos I had intended to go up in December, so I'm really rushing to get everything up. All of like the end of year, beginning of year videos I want to get up before the end of January, so I'm kind of doing a lot of things last minute, and I'm struggling to find time to close caption at the moment. But once things settle down, I'll go back and close caption some of those videos, and then moving forward, hopefully I can incorporate it into my video and editing schedule to do closed captions before I have videos go live. Might have to go and backtrack a few times, because more often than not, I'm like up until 1 o'clock in the morning editing and uploading the videos. Goal number 4 is I want to start adding trigger warnings into the descriptions of my videos for all of the books that I mention in a particular video. First of all, I think it would be quite helpful for people who do like to check trigger warnings or rely on them for whatever reason to have them all listed in the description of a video, so it's there permanently, not just briefly mentioned in the video itself. And secondly is because I am a rather forgetful person. So often when I'm filming like a wrap-up video or a recommendations video, I won't think to mention the trigger warnings. There's been a couple of instances as well where I start mentioning trigger warnings for a particular book and then realize there's probably other ones that I should have mentioned. So I just want to have a system where I put all of it in the description so it's more consistent, because I cannot rely on my brain to remember all the things while I'm filming. I'm currently trying to figure out what the best system would be in cases where I'm talking about a book I haven't read, like for book hauls, for example. I'm just in the stage of trying to decide, is it necessary, or should I go out and do a little bit of research on Goodreads or something like that and find someone's review where they do mention trigger warnings and then list those and link and credit the person who wrote the original review. For those of you who do use trigger warnings, if you have a preference, please let me know in the comment section below. I'm just wondering if people would think to look for trigger warnings or find it necessary if it's a book that I haven't read, that I'm just briefly talking about. Get what I mean? I don't know. Let me know down below. My 5th and final, yes, this time it is final, goal that I'm going to be talking about is developing a symbol system for my videos. So I'm taking inspiration for this from the wonderful Nikki Tutorials. Recently she's been using a system to clearly indicate where products that are mentioned in her videos come from. So for example, there's a symbol for products that she bought, products she received for PR or review, products that were sponsored, affiliate links, stuff like that. And I honestly think this is such a great idea and something I would love to implement. Not only so I can just stay transparent about what books I do receive for review and things like that. I do always mention where I received specific books in my book hauls, but it's just later down the track, especially in a video with a lot of books, like wrap-ups, recommendation videos, stuff like that. I don't typically remember to mention where the book came from, especially if it was something for review. But also the fact that I work for a publisher and just want to be completely transparent about the fact that some of the books that I read are published by my employer. Of course, all of my opinions are still my own. I'm not influenced in any way by the fact that they employ me. Like, I'm not going to lie about my ratings and thoughts on them, but I just want to be completely clear with you guys what books come from where. So my current plan for the system is I'm actually going to have a little symbol for trigger warnings. So if there's a book that I have trigger warnings for in the description of a video, I'll pop that up on the screen so you guys know, and you can check there if you want to look at the trigger warnings. Obviously, if you're not interested, you don't have to bother. I'll then have something for books that I bought, books that were gifted to me, or something I received in subscription boxes that are sent to me for free. So this is separate from the actual unboxing video. If I'm talking about a specific book that came in a box later on, I'll use the gifted symbol just because the subscription box itself was what was sent to me for review, not the actual book. So I felt that was where it would fit. I will have symbols for sponsorships and affiliate links, but I very, very rarely do sponsorships for specific books. Most sponsorships or affiliate links will be for services or retailers like Book Depository, Audible, Skillshare, things like that. There'll be a symbol for books I receive for review, and then one that is published by Hachette, which is where I work. So those are all of my goals for 2020. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have also set yourself some goals for 2020, feel free to leave a comment or a link in the description below, and I'll see you guys in a new video. But until then, I'll talk to you in the comments. Bye!